Season 3 is finally here and a lot has changed. So instead of just reading patch notes, me and Zibik decided to break it down properly. Going through characters and showing you what actually matters. Things like tracking changes, what's safe now, what's punishable, and most importantly, how to deal with it. This is gonna be a two-sided breakdown from a Jack 8 perspective and a Victor perspective, so you're getting real insight from both sides. Now real quick, for those of you who only care about one character, whether that's just Jack 8 or Victor, we've got you too. There will be a members only version of this video focused on each character individually. But for this one, we're covering everything you need to know from both sides. Let's get right into it. Starting off with Ana, her most important change is her full crouch down forward 2 mix. It's now much more steppable, so your counterplay is to step block to avoid the mix while still covering while standing 2. Her full crouch down forward 1 is now -12 instead of -10, so she can't rely on it as safely anymore. As for her new moves, she gets a new low that's I-24, steppable, and -18 on block, so you should always be ready to launch punish it. She also gets up 1+2, which is a high, and -14 on block, meaning you get a guaranteed punish if you block it. Overall, Ana is more risky now and easier to deal with if you understand these changes. Moving on to Clive, his new move is up 2-2, a mid into high that can be duck launched. The first hit on its own is -17 on block, which means you can actually option select this by ducking and doing a fast Y standing 4 covering both options. It's tight, but it's definitely doable. His 2-2-2 string is now -11 instead of -9, so it's more punishable. And 2-2-1+2 can now be sidestepped to the right. From a Jack 8 perspective, both of these strings can also be parried using Gamma Hole. His 1+2 is now steppable to both sides, which makes dealing with it much easier. Full crouch down forward 2 is now -13 instead of -12, giving better punishment, especially for Victor. And Phoenix Shift 2 is now -9 instead of -7, which weakens the move a lot. No more gimmicky parries or sidesteps afterwards. Overall, these changes make movement much more effective against Clive. Next up, Bryan Fury. He doesn't get a new move this season, but he does gain a cancel from sidestep 2, which gives him a bit more flexibility. On the other hand, he got some important nerfs to his strongest tools. Snake Eyes forward 2-1-2-3-2 can now be option selected with a 10 frame punish, and if he finishes the string, it's -13 on block instead of -10. For Jack 8, this is specifically strong since his 10 frame punish leads to a good counter hit reward. Snake Eyes forward 1+2 parry no longer wall splats, which significantly reduces its payoff. And finally, down 4 is now consistently punishable due to reduced pushback on both block and hit, so he can't space it anymore. Overall, Bryan feels much more manageable now rather than overwhelming and broken. Next is Claudio. He gets a new move which is up back 2. It's an I-17 mid that's -7 on block, wall splats, and gives him a power up on hit. It tracks well overall, but it can be beaten by sidewalking left. And if you're on Jack 8, it's worth knowing that a Gamma Hole parry here gives you a launch punish. As for the nerfs, his down forward 3-1 is now -14 instead of -12, and back 3-3 is now -12 instead of -10, making both options more punishable. His up 2 also loses a lot of tracking and is much more linear now. And finally, sidestep 4 no longer gives a counter hit follow-up, so the reward on that move is significantly lower. Overall, these changes open up more counterplay against Claudio, especially in wall situations. Let's take a look at Asuka. Up back 1+2 is her new move, which is a mid that's -3 on block and can be cancelled in different ways, but overall it's nothing to worry about. Most of her changes are actually nerfs aimed at toning down her pressure. Her down 1+2 no longer has a follow-up, which removes a lot of her momentum from that situation, and her full crouch down forward 3 hold has been adjusted with more pushback and less chip damage, meaning she no longer gets a reliable mix-up afterwards. Overall, these are solid balance changes that reduce her mindless aggression and make her a lot more manageable. Now for Dragunov, he gets a new move which is up back 1, a a 15 frame high poke that tracks to the right and is -4 on block. The main nerf is to his full crouch down forward 1-4 where the pushback has been removed. This means the move is now consistently punishable on block, making it much easier to deal with. Up next is Nina. She gets a new move which is full crouch down forward 2, a fast I-14 mid that's -11 on block, and on hit it knocks down while removing recoverable grey health, making it a strong tool overall. As for nerfs, her back 2-2 no longer counter hit launches, and down forward 2-1 also loses its counter hit follow-up on the second hit. Her down forward 3+4 has been toned down as well and no longer leads to a full combo on a counter hit. Overall, a bit of toning down for Nina, which makes her pressure less overwhelming. Let's move on to Feng. He gets a new option where he can now go into shifting clouds from back turn, giving him more flexibility in his stance transition. His 4-3 is slightly buffed, now sitting at -3 instead of -7 on block. His back 4 also loses pushback, but at certain ranges it's now -9 instead of -10, so it's a bit harder to punish depending on spacing. On the nerf side, his down back 2 string is completely dead. The first hit is now launch punishable on block, and the final hit is -14, making the string much riskier overall. Finally, shifting clouds 2 is now 0 on block instead of -3 and leaves him at +3 in back turn, which gives him better pressure in that stance. Overall, a mix of small buffs and meaningful nerfs with more emphasis on controlled pressure. Taking a look at Alisa, she gets a new move, an I-19 mid that's -7 on block and transitions into destructive stance. Outside of that, most of her changes revolve around gaining a few additional ways to transition into DES, giving her slightly more flexibility in how she enters the stance. Overall, not a major shift, but it does improve her stance access and flow. Armor King didn't change much this season either. His new move is an I-20 high that's pretty useless, mainly serving as a screw tool, although it does Wasplat. The only nerf is to his forward 3-2 1+2 string, where now only the third hit gives a follow-up on counter hit, reducing the overall reward from that string. Overall, very minor changes to Armor King. As usual, King gets a few buffs this season. He now has a launching grab that's breakable with 1, adding more threat to his throw game. He can also use his unique step out of a Jaguar sprint, giving him better movement options during Jaguar sprint. His forward 2-3 is now -5 instead of -9, and at long ranges it can go down all the way to around -1. His down forward 3 also tracks more to the right now, and his sidestep 2 has been buffed to give a follow-up on normal hit. The main nerf is to his down forward 2 tracking, which can now be sidestepped to the right more consistently. Overall, King becomes even stronger offensively this season. Moving on to Kuma and Panda, they both gain new extensions from their sweep in Heat. Kuma's version can wall splat while Panda's can floor break, adding more reward in those situations. Kuma does get a big nerf to his Heat Electric. It's now 0 on block instead of +5, and if you hold it, it's +5 instead of +9, so the pressure from it is significantly reduced. The burst down forward 2-2 also gets toned down, with the second hit no longer launching and instead giving a follow-up. Their down 1+2 is buffed on counter hit, but it's now -8 instead of -4, making it less safe overall. And that's it for the Bears, a mix of added utility in Heat with some important nerfs to their pressure. Up next, Yoshimitsu. Similar to Alisa, most of his changes revolve around transitions. He gets a new option with up forward 1+2, which adds more mix-up potential and mind games to his toolkit. He also gains a few additional ways to transition into his stance, but there aren't any major nerfs to highlight. Overall, this is more about expanding his options rather than changing his core gameplay. Let's go over Lydia. Her most notable change isn't a new move. She can now use Heat Smash and activate Heat directly from Horse stance, which helps her cover some of the stance's previous weaknesses. Most of her other changes revolve around her power-up system. Horse 1+2 now knocks down at level 3, and Cat 4 3+4 becomes a natural combo at level 3 as well. It's now -18 instead of -14 though, so it's fully punishable. And it's important to know this is jail punishable, not a mix-up. Cat 4 also scales in damage based on her power-up level, giving her more reward as she builds momentum. And forward 4-3 now removes recoverable health while decreasing her power level by 1. Overall, she gets quite a few adjustments, but nothing that really fixes her core gameplay issues. Taking a look at Shaheen, he gets a new move, an I-18 mid that's -9 on block and wall splats, giving him a solid new tool for pressure and wall situations. Aside from that, his down 4 gets a small nerf to its pushback, making it slightly easier to deal with. He also gains a few additional ways to access certain moves from different positions, giving him more flexibility overall. Nothing too major, but a few useful adjustments to his toolkit. Next up, Hwoarang. His new move comes from Left Flamingo. Left Flamingo 1+2 4. It's a mid-mid string that's -13 on block and is mainly useful in combos rather than pressure. On the nerf side, his back one, which is one of his key panic buttons, is now -15 instead of -14, making it launch punishable. His backlash also gets a significant nerf with increased recovery, making it much easier to launch if you duck it. Overall, some important nerfs that make his defensive options way more risky. Now let's look at Miary Zo. Her new move is more of an adjustment. It allows her to change the direction of her up-forward 1, giving her more control over positioning. As for the other changes, up-forward 3+4 no longer floor breaks, while her MOR 1+2 now does floor break, shifting where she gets that utility. Outside of that, there are a few minor behavior changes, but nothing particularly impactful. Up next, Zafina. Her new addition is up-forward 3 transition into Mantis stance, which guarantees a follow-up, giving her strong conversions from that situation. She also gets a huge buff to her forward 3. It no longer leaves the opponent in a crouching state, which makes 2-1 guaranteed on hit. In heat, this can lead to a full combo, making it a very strong change overall. A meaningful buff that improves her reward and consistency. Let's move on to Fahkumram. He gets a new I-19 mid that's -11 on block and guarantees a follow-up on hit, making it a useful pickup tool in certain situations. His forward 4-1 is also buffed on counter hit and now guarantees a follow-up, giving him more reward when he catches opponents pressing. His down 4 now grants a Rama charge on counter hit, adding more value to his pressure. On the nerf side, his up forward 3 loses tracking and now can be stepped to both sides, although for Jack 8, you'll mainly be stepping this to the right. Overall, a mix of added reward with slightly weaker tracking on key moves. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you understand Season 3 changes a little bit better. If you'd like to see Part 2 with the rest of the cast, let me know. And a huge shout out to my partner Zibik for all the knowledge and help. Make sure you guys check him out. I'll see you guys in the next one.